Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, April 8th. Going to jump into the before market close video update ticker request. Just make sure everything's coming through. Looks like it is. We'll jump right into the market update. We're seeing more blood return to the market. So crypto back down around 75K here. We're potentially losing 76K on Bitcoin. Still hovering around $1.80 here on XRP, and SPY just lost 500 as well. Excuse me. Yeah, we could potentially come back down and test these lows. Would not be good at all. Barely even started the daily bounce and rejected. So, we do have those gaps there that would more than likely get filled, but we could see one more potential flush here. Very weak. Let's see. No longer expecting a daily bear flag though, so that was one positive thing from this bounce. We zoom in here on the hourly. Yeah, we did confirm an hourly uptrend and then went into hourly consolidation, now losing it again. So a bit of a red flag here. 15-minute time frame. We do have a 15-minute bear flag. So if we go there from the high to the low, see here we did not get above the 0.32 fib. And if we take our measured move, we're close to hitting it. It's saying around 492. Very well could be in the cards. I have to blame Martin on this one. he was he was talking about in the Tilray video today. Uh, should have bought the S&P, and then S&P drops immediately after he gets off the. We got to be careful what you wish for, I guess. It's kind of funny. But yeah, let's take a look at actually before I switch over. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame. Yeah, we're set up for a potential weekly inside bar into next week, potentially. Or sorry, monthly inside bar is what I was thinking. Yeah, monthly inside bar into next month based on the size of this range. So I wouldn't expect the monthly bounce to get underway. It's probably just going to be a lot of choppy action, in my opinion, over the next couple of months. And then, yeah, we're more than likely set up for a potential weekly inside bar into next week. We might see one more potential lower low. We do have a support level there at 468. So if we do lose 479, that'll be the next level to be watching. Still a lot of work to do. All right. Let's take a look at some individual names. If anybody does have any ticker requests, please let me know. Yeah, so Tesla still above 200, so it's not too bad, but we do have support incoming. Low of the dump there at 214. SPCE. So we did hit our bear flag target. I mentioned that I wasn't going to add. I missed that dip down to around, what was it, 216, 218. So I might add a small position here as we get closer to $2. But yeah, we bounced yesterday up to around 260. Today we got as high as 273. And I mentioned I was not comfortable buying just yet. And it looks like we got another bear flag forming here. Yeah, I mentioned I wasn't comfortable buying just yet at around 260, 250, and here we are set to potentially close at the low of the day, and SPY's weak, so we could see even more downside. But we'll take a look at this measured move here for the daily bear flag. We did have a weak bounce today, so we could potentially see a drop down to around $1.50 if confirmed. So in order to confirm it, we need to lose the low there at 218. GME has been holding up relatively well, I guess you could say. Still hovering around 23 bucks, kind of just above the range lows there of the dump after they raised money to buy Bitcoin, which is the stupidest idea in my opinion. It's way different if you're a company that's got tons of cash and you're profitable, don't know what to do with all this money and on your balance sheet, but to be taking loans out, it's just as crazy Michael Saylor. That the dumbest thing possible. It just hurts my brain thinking about it. Imagine one financial advisor on the planet Earth that would tell you it was a good idea to buy crypto with a loan. No one would tell you that. It's one thing to diversify like 1% of your assets or your treasury or your balance sheet, like your cash position into crypto, but absolutely idiotic that they would even entertain such a thing. Yeah, INSG. This one has been taking it on the chin. We just hit $6. This one's getting interesting for an entry as well. DDD. I mentioned this one was a pretty solid buy under $2 again, around $1.75. And today we did hit 212. So even that, even under $2 again, was about a 22% swing. But still very weak. It's a weekly bear flag. So let's take a look at this one. Could be a nice trade setup though. Oops, thought I had my fib tool. So we go there from the low or the high to the low, and then we'll get our measured move here on this weekly bear flag. So it is saying 154. We do have support there at 172. We hit 175, so 172, lose that, then we're looking at 154. Next level of support. All right, in terms of crypto, we got EOS, Solo, and XDC leading the decline today, and the only green we have Storage, well, BAT, Songbird, and Storage in that order. So Bitcoin, weekly downtrend, daily time frame, weekly and daily downtrend as well. Daily inside bar, so not holding up not too bad at the moment. Still in a monthly uptrend. That's the big difference with Bitcoin is we're still in a monthly uptrend when the S&P 500 has already lost the monthly uptrend. And I think the reason for that is because crypto's been strongest, right? It's been the strongest sector since March 2020. It's had the highest gains, and we're potentially due for crypto legislation in the coming months. Trump said he wants the new administration to get it done sometimes between now and the end of August, the August recess. So makes sense that we're still in a monthly uptrend on on Bitcoin while SPY has lost the monthly uptrend. So I think we're going to see a little bit of it, maybe not a major decoupling, but I do think we're going to see some decoupling and crypto outperform as well, as it typically does, ahead of clear regulation in the US, something that we've been lacking for decades. So, but XRP monthly time frame, we did start monthly consolidation after the multiple inside bar bear break, but we're still holding EMA 12 here on the monthly time frame. Not ruling out one more dip, but I can't see us going much lower than 150. Even that dip down to 161 was bought up very, very quickly, and we're back towards $2. But $2, which was acting as support, now acting as resistance. Not a great sign. Yeah, what's going on here? There we go. So yeah, we're set to potentially close the daily candle below that 200-day moving average, so that would not be good, and a potential death cross looming. Still a ways away before it happens, though, so it's entirely possible that we save that. All depends really on news at this point. If we can get some sort of improvement with regards to bills passing, if we can get some progress there. Today was the day we had the 2x leverage ETF, but that's a different type of ETF. It's not a spot ETF, so it's a futures ETF based. It doesn't actually hold the underlying asset. So that very much could happen in Q3. Could happen really any time now where they approve XRP ETFs, but I would say more than likely going to happen in Q3. Q4 at the latest, I would say. All right. We'll jump into MJ here in just a moment. Jam says, when I see Martin, I see Jim Cramer. I wouldn't say he's that bad. But yeah, he jinxed it. He jinxed it on us. He came on and said you should have bought the S&P, and then the S&P's tanking again. Yeah, you got to be humble for sure. Especially coming on an MJ video and an MJ channel, and a crypto channel. And and talking about how you shouldn't buy MJ, you should buy the S&P. I guess this pullback's fitting. The market humbles all eventually, and yeah, I really hope he knows what he's doing, because I think we're due for one of the worst market crashes in history. This crash down to 470, 480 will look like nothing when it's all said and done, unfortunately. Hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. It's probably going to be 2026 bloodbath. I think 2026 is going to be a very, 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 very bad year. And again, it's not because the stock market hasn't been performing. It's because it's been performing so well on a relative basis. When you're up 180% on the S&P 500 in 5 years, when the average returns around 10 to 12, right? Maybe 14, 15% on the high end. If the average is around 12, well, we should only be up like, 60, 70% in 5 years. We're up 180. So even if we lost 50% of the market value, we'd still be up around the average. So it's all about perspective, right? And the bigger the boom, the bigger the bust. But MJ, we have DB, AYR, and Love leading the bull list today. And on the bear list, no surprise here, we have Tilray, CGC, and IIPR. Tilray getting very close to the bear flag target of 42 cents. We're now at the low of the day, SPY at the low of the day. So not great to have a bad earnings report. But overall, love that they're getting into crypto. Love that they're starting to use AI. Just imagine the amount of efficiencies they're going to have, and they're going to save on a ton of labor costs, physical labor. Eventually, you'll have, robotics and everything doing everything. It's already heavily automated, but just it's only going to get more automated, right? But I truly believe in 5, 10, whatever it is, 5 to 10 years, if the U.S. legalizes and we see some, it's probably going to be at least 5 years after the U.S. legalizes at the federal level before we see the blue chip phase. So, it could be 5 years, could be 10 years, could be 15 years, but whenever it is, and they'll call us lucky. And I'm very confident that when we hit critical mass in that blue chip phase, Tilray will still be around. Maybe they merge with like a Curaleaf or something like that. I could see that eventually. Who knows if they would keep like a Curaleaf name or a Tilray name, but in my opinion, it's not going to go away. It's either going to get absorbed, similar to Hexo. It's just too big to fail at this point, right? It's Tilray, Aphria, Hexo, and Redecan. If you would have told people back in the early days of MJ, back 5 years ago, if you told somebody Tilray, Aphria, and Hexo, and Redecan were all going to be one company under one roof, they would laugh at you. They'd be like, no way that's happening, right? That would be unfair. The rest of the industry would just be destroyed. But there's going to be way more consolidation. Tilray's going to absorb even more companies, right? So we're now into a new all-time low, 45 cents. CGC is getting to our target and then some. So this stock is at 8 cents, technically. So we're right there with Oxley, 7.5 cents. That's crazy. $60 stock down to 8 cents. Pre-split. MSOS, how's it holding up today? Yeah, down about 2%. So next major support level, we have $2, and then we're looking at 185. Bear flag target. And just remember, MSOS, which tracks all the major names in the US, is down 96%. Someone commented on X today that I led people into a bloodbath. I single-handedly led people into a bloodbath with Tilray. I'm just like, the amount of stupidity. Literally every video says not financial advice. Don't buy or sell anything based on anything I say, right? And then it's like, okay, did you also follow my non-advice with XRP, you dumbass? Yeah, some people, man. Some people. All right. Just broke 46 down. Yeah. Former DEA and HHS officials suggest MJ rescheduling could be delayed indefinitely if Trump doesn't proactively support it. Yeah. He definitely will, in my opinion. We already know he supports it and banking. Jeff Kober walks the blue line in Grassland. Hey Rod, with the huge cash buffer, what is your opinion on Kronos on the TSX? Yeah, I can take a look at that. Yeah, I mean, there was rumors that Cureleaf was going to potentially acquire them. I wouldn't rule out anything at this point. Cureleaf acquired Northern Green Canada, so they're a Canadian operator now as well. So they're the U.S. They're in the U.S., Canada, and Europe and international. So anything's possible at this point. But yeah, they might even acquire another company. You see what happened with Organogram acquiring a beverage company. So Kron might want to do something similar in the U.S. But a lot of that cash reserves is probably going to be held for, capital expenditures, whether it be they make their own in-house beverages or, get into other categories. That's very capital expensive, so capital intensive. So, huge capex. But more than likely would make more sense to just acquire another operator or company. Yeah, we're getting close to support here at 215. After 215, we have nothing until 158. And we had a descending triangle here as well. So you can draw it like this. And I would draw it like that. And then you would take your measured move there. So yeah, we could easily be seeing 219. And we confirmed a weekly downtrend as well with lower high, lower low, and then we broke out of that pattern. So red flag was seen there. Daily bear flags as well. Let's see if we got anything else on the lower level. Yeah, we had another descending triangle here, right? You can see. Yeah, bit of a falling wedge as well, you could say. Bear cross on the stochastic. MACD still bearish. Could see a 50 and a 100 weekly bear cross. So not looking good. Not looking good whatsoever. Yeah, still a ways away before we see a golden cross. We just had a death cross. That was back a couple months ago, and yeah, a few months ago in September. What we got on the monthly time frame? Yeah, we're in a monthly downtrend as well, and it looks like it's a monthly bear flag. Let me just draw that out. Yeah, so not good at all. Yeah, somewhere around that 217 should be in the cards, and monthly support at 215. That's going to be the most support. That's going to be the most important. So yeah, we have the descending triangle, the monthly bear flag, previous price action support at 215. Got to see that hold because, like I said, nothing after that until 158. So it could get pretty ugly for MJ. But this is why we diversify outside of MJ, inside of MJ. I see lots of people hating on one particular company a lot, and that just tells me that they have a majority of their money in that stock and they don't look at the rest of the MJ sector because the rest of the MJ sectors. I'd be even more angry holding Green Thumb and seeing this at getting close to the lows here back in 2020, March C19, right? I'd be more angry holding this thing, which I don't really own that much of it. It's only like a couple percent of my portfolio. I might look to add more actually here pretty soon. I'll definitely be adding more once I rotate some crypto profits, but I'll be really angry holding this thing when it's posting stellar earnings, like amazing earnings reports, earning report after earning report, and we're still down from April of last year, 2024, the stock is down over 70%, almost 72%. So I'd be really pissed off if they were profitable, having amazing earnings, and still the stock's down over 71% in less than a year and testing March 2020 lows. At least with some of these other names, they're not really posting that great earnings and they're not profitable yet, so it kind of makes sense, but this just makes absolutely no sense, right? But that goes to show you the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So I'm just gonna add that. I just thought of something here. Yeah, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. It's never been more true today. I was thinking of some other quotes to add to the course as well. And all right, hopefully that helps though. We'll move right along. Silver, please, and INM on the Nasdaq. Yeah, we can take a look at XAGUSD. Yeah, so silver still expecting $40. We did dip out of this support trend line, but we're holding it so far. Not a great sign, but we broke out of it last month out of this ascending triangle, and the target's $40. But with Armageddon, financial Armageddon on the well, not really on the horizon. I'd say we're into the thick of it here. It's hard to say. Daily inside bars at the moment. Still no daily downtrend though. This just moved. This move, we lost the daily uptrend, but this move's just all coming off the same high. Same thing with the weekly. Lost the weekly uptrend. Monthly time frame technically lost the monthly uptrend as well. Actually, we confirmed a monthly downtrend with a lower high, lower low, but we didn't have much follow through. So consider that a save for the moment. And what is that? That looks like a 3-month bull flag. Yeah. Say that's a 3-month bull flag, potential bear trap here. So if we lose $28, that's not going to negate it, but in order to confirm it, we would need to break the high there at 30, we'll say 35, and then target would be $49. Lower level time frames probably not looking too hot. Yeah, we do have an hourly bear flag here as well, so short term not looking too good. And the rest of the broader market's still pretty weak, so that's saying we could see a drop down to around 29.15. And we did confirm it as well here on this hourly candle, so like I said, not looking too hot. Wouldn't be surprised if we did come back down after that. We have support at $28, so 28, then 25 psychological really. Wouldn't be surprised if we did come back down. Silver's been weaker than gold, and like gold, for example, just barely lost 3,000. So overall, silver's just following gold's lead, and gold's still in a monthly uptrend and bull flag. So you go from the low to the high. You can see here we had a brief consolidation pattern and then we confirmed it. So move that out to the 0.32 fib, and gold's looking at about 3,500. But that's not a good sign either. Usually when gold's going up and all-time highs, that means that the economy isn't doing that well. And there's a reason why central banks are stockpiling like crazy. Hopefully that helps. INM on the NASDAQ, InMed. All right, all-time lows, INM. We are seeing a stochastic bull cross though in the weekly, and the MACD could cross any week now, so might see a big move on this in the next 2 or 3 weeks, in my opinion. Still below all of our weekly moving averages, but we do have the 50 there at 449. Probably just had a death cross. No, we're actually pulling up not too bad. What's going on here? Why is that? All funky. Not sure why that's not weird. Anyway, still a ways away before we see a golden cross there, but yeah, I'd say it's at least a couple of weeks, few weeks before we start to see any major turnaround, but it's looking like it could be a big move coming here in the next few weeks. We have no monthly resistance until about 827, so this could be a big bounce once the monthly bounce starts, but we've already done multiple reverse splits, one for 20 and a one for 25, so that's, oh wow, and another one here. One for 33, holy. Yeah, I'd just be cautious on this one. The stock's probably at like a penny if you factor in pre-splits. Maybe even less than a penny, holy. Yeah, that was a weekly bear flag here too. Hit perfectly. Measure move was 170 and we hit 172. So we'll see. We'll definitely due for another relief rally soon. But yeah, there it's looks like it's another weekly bear flag if we go from that high to the low there. If we can get over say 250, we're probably heading back up to $3 in a hurry, but it's another bear flag here targeting 131. It's entirely possible. It's more than likely not gonna run if the rest of the broader market's still weak, and obviously news can change that. But as of right now, we'll expect more of the same. PDN on the TSX for Chris. That'll be the last one. See what is going on here. Nothing major. Yeah, so XRP had the news today. Ripple, sorry. They acquired Hidden Road for 1.25 billion, one of the largest deals ever in the crypto space. So I'd love to see that. And I forgot the name of the ticker. One second here. PDN on the TSX. PDN. Paladin Energy. Another one at all-time lows. It has not been easy, has it? Yeah, this one's been destroyed. We had looks like a weekly bear flag, daily bear flag. We'll zoom out to the weekly. Yeah, the weekly bear flag did confirm, and then we'll get our measured move here. And it looks like it extended. We were targeting at least 415, and here we are. New all-time low, 342. Only a few months of, we got 4 months of history on this one. 5. But yeah, another potential bear flag shaping up. So if we go from our, let's just say this was our low here, and we started to bounce in the next couple of days, anything under 451 would be another daily bear flag, so we'd have to get above that to negate it. And if confirmed, yeah, we're almost losing the low here, so we can continue to extend this, right? We haven't started the bounce yet, so we haven't. If we drop to another lower low tomorrow, we'd have to adjust this, right? So just hypothetically, if we were bouncing the daily right now, anything under 451, so it's still too premature to say what our measured move could be on there, but we will be expecting a pretty decent bounce here on the daily once it does bounce, because we haven't bounced now on the daily time frame since March 20th. So that's a lower high every single candle for 13 trading days in a row. So when we do bounce, there'll be a lot of room for that relief rally because of a lack of resistance all the way up to 634. Basically a 50% correction with no daily bounce is insane. PDN, and is that .to or .b? .to. Yeah, still a lot of work to do there on the weekly time frame. Still, we don't even have anything established there for the weekly moving averages, and on the daily, yeah, we're above or we're below rather all of those as well, and a lot of work to do. All right, gonna wrap it up. See if there's anything else. No new news coming out. Got all the tickers. Just take one quick peek at SPY here, but yeah, god damn it, Martin. You just had to say that. Buy the S&P and then we close under 500. Low of the day today, 489 and 52. Would that be the 52-week low? I think it is. Is 481. The low of this local low. No, it wouldn't be the 52-week low. We were just at oh yeah. Wait one second here. That was back in February. Yeah, so that is a 52-week low. Because the low of February 2024 was 483. So we're over a year. Yeah, February. Last time we were lower than that was back in January. So it's been 63 weeks-ish. Yeah, we closed at 496, up slightly after hours, but not good. That support must hold, or we could be seeing another leg down. Larry Fink from BlackRock said thinks wouldn't rule out another 20% drop, which I think most people would lose their mind. But again, when in doubt, zoom out. Even if we dropped another 20%, that's still way better than the average return on the S&P, from a historical perspective, right? Based on averages. So, like I said, this is why you don't want to be caught like a deer in the headlights, and you don't want to say that this is impossible or that's impossible. Anything's possible, and the bigger the boom, the bigger the bust, and we had the biggest boom in history, essentially. What's up, Ben? Just wrapping up. If you're just joining us, you can go back and watch it. But yeah, we're just wrapping up here. I'll probably get another video out. We'll see if I'm pretty tired after getting up at 5 a.m. this morning and covering Tilray, but we'll see what happens here. Also wanted to do some work on the course again this evening, so yeah, been super super busy lately. So who knows? Maybe I'll just have a chill night tonight. Pick it up tomorrow. All right, going in it there. Hope everyone has a great night, and we'll talk to all of the members in the Power Group private community in a few minutes.